Hey guys, it's JH. Welcome to Practice C. Okay guys, just back in between floods and fires. We had those catastrophic fires for 6 months. We've just had a week of unbelievable floods. This place was 2 meters underwater, a meter underwater. Just unbelievable. But anyway, we are back in the fold, so to speak. The ground here is just like bog, guys, so we just so boggy. Okay, just want to go over one thing today to clear up a little bit of confusion. A couple of people have asked me to clarify what I mean about that being the target line for channel lock and the club swinging across the target line. We swing the club out that way, but we release the club head or the face towards the target. Now, what some people have misconstrued that as being is releasing the club face like that. Well guys, that's a roll. Now as soon as you do that, immediately you shut the face down too much, but you get the trail arm coming out too far and you get the trail shoulder coming out too far and you get the club tracking across the line rather than or from outside across the line rather than from inside to out across the line. Now the release of the club face, and it's been remiss of me not to explain it as I should have, but guys, it's not that type of release, it's that type of release. The club face should finish pointing in that direction there with toe up, which is essentially where it is at address. If you look at the club there and you look at that name on the grip there, where it is there, and I have my club shut down about 4 degrees at address. It's slightly closed because I'm attacking about 7 or 8 degrees into out in my path, sometimes 9 degrees. So I have to have the club face shut down to the path, otherwise the ball will just go straight right. If you had the face parallel to the path, the ball would just go straight right. Now we don't want it to do that. We want it to start a little bit to the right for a right-hander and then just bank back a little bit, and it's just a little power draw, and that's what happens. So we've got to set the club face shut down a little bit at address. Not a lot, and how much do we have it shut down at address? It depends on how much you move the ball. It's individuality and how much you swing into out in the tracking of the club. We all do that differently and we all do it to different degrees. So it's important to just work on that and work out how much you need the club face shut down in order to get the amount of movement on the ball you want. But guys, what I do in terms of releasing the golf club, I get it here and then I just fire the club head upwards like that. And by doing that, with my lead hand does that. It's basically a hitchhike to the sky like that. If you just take your lead hand there, bring it down like that and turn it like that into the ball and finish with it there, you will replicate where the hand was and what the configuration of the hand was at address. Now at address, my lead hand is in that configuration there. That's where it is, and that's with the club face with the amount of shutdown that I want on it at address to give me the ball flight that I want. So I want to replicate that position at impact, which is basically the release point in the golf swing. So if we all agree that position there is impact and address, well, address, we need that at impact. So how do we get that at impact? How do we get that at impact, right? We have to move the forearm that way, and we have to finish with it there. The forearm rotates after impact and it rotates coming down into impact as well, but it doesn't roll. There's a difference between rotating and there's a difference between roll. And the roll has the knock-on bad effects in that when we roll, we take that trail side componentry outside the line of attack or the line of delivery. That's the problem. We don't want to do that. We want to stay inside the line, inside the track, and present the club to the ball with the amount of shutdown on it that we need to give us the ball flight that we need. So the release factor, guys, is it's that. There. It's not roll. And the trail hand will just go along in accompaniment with the club. But if you can hit some shots and you finish with the toe up there, you'll know that you've done the right anatomical process or movement in the swing for the release. If you finish over here and the shaft is pointing that way away from the forearm, then you've rolled it. We don't want to roll it. We want to keep the shaft in line with the forearm. Here, there, and there it is. And it's as simple as that, guys. Just think about if you had a frisbee in your hand here and you were holding it on the rim here, and you wanted to throw it up and you wanted to turn vertically that way, you would do that. You would go, whoosh. I've got the frisbee here and I've got it on the rim, and I go whoosh, up there. And you'll know when you've released the club correctly with channel lock, when the club and your arm stay in front of your lead shoulder at the finish of the swing. Here, here. We don't ever want the club coming over here, and that configuration there. We always want it to straight line it as much as we can in line with that lead forearm. Yeah. There. Just that, guys. So I hope that clears that up. And just hit a couple of, you know, get an 8 on or 9 on or a wedge or something, just hit a couple of little short shots where you just do that. Just take it to there and then roll it to there and finish there. And then bring that back to there, and you'll see that's exactly where that's where we are at address. That's where we want to be at impact. We take the club back, we do that here, we go to there, and that hasn't changed. That finger hasn't gone there, it hasn't gone there. It's still in line as it was at address. The name on that shaft is still in that position here. So that's where we want to be, here. We always want to finish with the club on this side of our shoulder, our lead shoulder. We don't want the club wrapping over or the trail arm wrapping over and going around us. We want the club to stay in front of us. Now the other thing I want to touch on, Matt Gray did a really good video the other day on Bayou Golf. Matt's doing some stuff on Bayou Golf at the moment, and they're really good videos. And Matt will end up being the standard bearer for channel lock in the US very soon. I've got some things on that's going to take me off the scene for a significant amount of time. So I'm just passing the bat to Matt, and he's going to run with it over there. So if you want to see Matt, go to Bayou Golf, B-A-U-O-U, Bayou Golf. And he's doing some stuff on there at the moment. But going forward, Matt will have his own channel, and he'll be promoting the channel lock swing. And it won't be called the channel lock swing going forward, guys. It'll be something else. Channel lock was just an interim thing, but we've got another U-Butte name, and it is even a name that even depicts more of what channel lock does compared to a conventional golf swing. Now, what Matt did the other day in that video was he spoke about the importance of having your arms connected, and particularly this lead arm, and not letting it get away out from the body, flapping like a seagull trying to take off, keeping it there and getting the backswing to be as much of a one-piece action as we possibly can, so that we've got the hand, the arm, the shoulder and chest and the shoulder girdle all going back at the same rate. Now you don't want your arms separating. We've got that's one rate, that's another rate here, and then we turn the shoulders. So we've got 3 rates all trying to integrate themselves. We don't want that. And simplicity dictates that if we just connect our arms up, we eliminate the complexity of trying to combine all those 3 rates of movement with 3 different components, or sometimes 4 different components. And what I do, guys, is that I basically just get my upper arms and my triceps here, and I just put them on top of my pecs like that, as close as I can. I try and get my elbows as close to my body as I can, and I just have them resting on top of my pecs as close as I can. I try and get this lead one across as much as I can, because in channel lock you want it across as much as you can. You need it here. We don't want it over here, we need it back here. So I try and get it there, and I push those elbows together, and the pressure I have in my hands comes up the inside of my lead forearm, out of that heel pad there, comes up right up into my armpits and into my pec here, and that's where the pressure is. And if you can do that, you'll find that you'll get tremendous connection. It's very much the original Jimmy Ballard concept, where he just wanted the arms connected to the body, and which David Ledbetter took up when he came on the scene. So that's a very important facet, guys. Really important facet. So that when we're in here, I feel that, you know, this arm is getting across the centre portion of my chest even. And I don't think you can do that too much, because the more you get that across, the more you'll be pushing your hand and the club outside your body into the channel. So it's a really good benefit from that point of view. Yeah, so I'll just recap on that. So just get your arm, put them over here. Now you see on the LPGA, because the girls are usually so narrow in the shoulders, and they're so flexible in the arms and just the upper chest, and really soft and pliable, you watch them, some of those girls have almost got their elbows touching because they're so flexible. I'm about as flexible as a rebar or a crowbar or a brick, but I'm not so much looking for the flexibility aspect or factor, I'm looking for the connection factor. And if we can get that across there, see what it does, guys, is it pushes that lead arm and that lead hand almost over onto the trail leg. And the more you can back cock at that time here, we don't have far to go in the backswing. We've only got to turn those shoulders a few more degrees and the backswing's completed. And that's something that I wanted to reiterate. We spoke about it early on in channel lock and haven't spoken about it for probably 6 months. But the more you can get, the greater range of back cock or pre-turn you can get in your golf swing, the more benefit it is to you, clearly. Absolutely clearly. And why is it? Because if we're just here, we've got to move this shoulder through this range of movement here. That's got to go to here. But guys, what if it's already turned to there to start with? And then all I've got to do is just push it back a little further. You've almost got your shoulder turn completed at address. And ultimately, I believe that that's what we should be trying to do. We should be trying to get as much pre-turn on the shoulders at address as we possibly can. I don't think you can overdo that. What'll happen, what it will do is it will play mind games with you. Because when you get here, you'd say to me, if I was sitting there and I was giving you a lesson, I'd say, okay, George, pre-turn the club, set the club. And you get here and you go, and you say, JH, but I'm pointing way out there. I say, you're not really. You know why you feel that? Because your shoulders are turned to that degree in the backswing and you feel like you're out there. But if you have a conventional golf swing, look at this, just a conventional golf swing. Conventional golf swing, here, and I turn my shoulders to there. Where do I feel now that I'm aiming? Over there. But I'm not. All I'm doing is it's just going through the range of movement for the golf swing. Your shoulders will do that. So you've got to overcome that feeling that by setting up, you're setting up way right for a right-hander. But you're not. Excuse me. You're not. It's just that you're into the turn. So again, to reiterate, if the more that we can pre-turn at address, get the connection here, hunker down, get a lot of pre-turn here, then all we've got to do is just lift the club up and then just drop it down. and just fire it out. That's the simplicity of it. That is the simplicity of it. Okay guys, there were just a few points. I think it's going to rain. I'm just going to cut this video here. If the rain goes down, I'll come back and hit some shots, and we'll just put a finisher on this line of clarification here. But it looks like it's going to rain right now, so I'll just if I don't come back, at least that information there is what I wanted to get across today. But I'll wait 10 minutes, I'll hop in the buggy, and it's moving that way. If it doesn't come here, I'll come back and hit a few shots.